we are back, and we have Darksiders next. I am joined by Joe Mad, if I may call you that. Joe Madera, is that right?
Yep.
Excellent, Joe. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the lead designer, is that right?
I am the creative director.
He's the lead designer.
He's the lead designer, Hayden Dalton.
All right, thank you guys for joining us and bringing the game. I know a lot of people have been talking about this, so we're going to jump right into it and let you guys get to the demo that you brought.
Cool.
Please show it.
Fired up. So, Darksiders takes place in the near future after the apocalypse. But one of the areas, and we showed a lot of areas that had, city streets, wrecked cars and buildings, things like that. But one thing is we wanted to keep the diversity really high in the levels. So as you progress further into the city, the demon infestation becomes more apparent. And you'll get to areas like this called the Ashlands. And this is covered in the ashes of all the dead of mankind. And that's pretty much, sadly, all that's left of humanity at this point.
All right, well, how did it get that way? Can you back up for a half second and let us know what's the story with it?
Basically what happened is there was a War, who's the main character. He's one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And he's caught in a conspiracy between heaven and hell that resulted in Earth's destruction. But it's pinned on him. He's found there. Nobody knows what he's doing there. He doesn't know what he was doing there. And he basically takes the fall for this. But he's given a chance to come back to Earth 100 years later and prove his innocence or just die there. And as he slowly uncovers who's responsible and who's betrayed him, he gets his powers back and gets revenge. It's really a revenge story about war. It's not about saving mankind or anything like that.
It's just war wants to...
Pure brutality against angels, demons, giant 100-foot bosses, stuff like that.
Just out of curiosity, just like, obviously I don't want to spoil anything, but like, are there outcomes where humanity is salvaged, or is it just no?
Nope.
Awesome.
They're completely gone. Yeah, it really isn't a story about us. This is about powers that are way far greater that really don't involve man.
Now, he's got like some big wicked thing, and like, what happened to his horse?
Actually, this sequence that we're showing you right here leads up to him getting Ruin, and Ruin's the name of his supernatural steed. I don't know, we don't call it a horse, it's a steed.
Excellent. And Ruin, is that like, if I looked in some hit book somewhere,
No, we totally made it up. It's War and Ruin, it just sounds cool.
It does.
It's like his instrument of destruction, and this big gun you see here, War has a sword, which is his primary weapon, called the Chaos Eater. And that levels up throughout the game. It's very powerful. But you also get other weapons. You get a secondary weapon that you can map to the Y button. You get Death Sight. You get some guns. This gun he's got here, you can't take with you throughout the entire game. It's just a pick up and drop weapon, we call them. And they're used in just small sequences to just change up the gameplay. They're super powerful. This one has like sort of a delayed detonation bomb on the tips of these demonic spears. It's kind of fun to just watch demons running around with them sticking out of their head and just explode. Sometimes they'll walk into each other and blow up. It's kind of funny. But one thing this shows off, the levels are pretty big. There's more open outdoor areas that connect these sort of like dungeon zones, we call them. And in the Ashlands in particular, the ash, there's these creatures under the ash, these gigantic worms that you'll see in a second. If you were to try and cross it on foot, they would take you out. But War is going to get Ruin, and once you have him, it opens up a bunch of areas you couldn't access, like these areas of the Ashlands. You'll be fast enough to outrun the worms, you'll be fighting them from horseback, and once you kill them, suddenly it's like another safe area that War can run around in on foot. And so, areas constantly open up to you as you progress. A lot of these games that focus on combat only shut the door behind you as you progress the story. We structured it a lot more like an adventure game. We take the adventure part of the action adventure pretty seriously. So, in classic adventure game fashion, the areas are slowly opened up to you as you get more powerful. So you're constantly going back, you're never locked out. If you learn about some cool secret you missed from your buddies, you can always go back. And so in that way, instead of shutting the door behind you, our world actually gets bigger and bigger as you progress. So 8 hours in, you're going to have all these areas to explore versus, just the small linear stretch that you usually get.
Now, what about the other 3 Horsemen of the Apocalypse? What do they have to say about War's rogue efforts?
You know, part of the story is, were the other Horsemen involved? Where are they? War's been completely separated from them and from his horse. I mean, he's lost all his power, so really that's something for players to discover.
Now, what are we going to see him get to ruin at some point, or?
Yep, at the end of the sequence, you want to skip ahead? Go ahead. Skip ahead to the arena. So these demons, one of War's tasks, he actually meets a very powerful demon that is kind of a traitor to his own kind. And he's been imprisoned, so War frees him early on, which is probably not a good idea. And as this demon grows in power, he helps War on his vengeance mission. He has his own agenda, but it happens to coincide with War's wanting to seek the truth. So basically, one of the grisly tasks that he gives War is to bring him the hearts of the Chosen, which are basically the bosses in this world. And so...
Oh, Ruin is awesome, by the way.
That's actually not Ruin yet.
Oh, no.
No, that's this is the first time War encounters some mounted enemies, and it kind of builds up your frustration level so that you're like, man, I wish I had a horse, and soon you will.
No.
So he'll take these guys out.
I like the fact that even though he's all kinds of supernatural, he does not shy away from the fact that a gun is a good weapon to use.
A gun is a great weapon to use. It's not supremely powerful, but it can actually stagger enemies. If you lay down enough attacks on an enemy, you'll see that it staggers them momentarily, so you can lay down and smack down on them.
Yeah, we'll be checking in with the game as soon as it comes back up. And while we're waiting for that, do you mind if I throw some questions your way?
Oh, absolutely.
And I guess we should say, how far out are you guys? Are you guys still ways in development, or how much time until you come out?
We just announced the release date yesterday of January 1st.
Oh, wow.
So it'll be out right around. It's right around the corner. Yeah.
They give you some special prize for being the first game out in 2010.
No, but it is cool. Just everyone's kind of still home on break and playing video games.
There was one game. Actually, there's a game every year, it seems like, where it does come out like weird, like right in the middle of the holiday break. And I'm
kind of hoping people return all those bad games they got for Christmas, and just return those and get Darksiders instead.
All right, Dennis Lakota out of Slovenia wants to know: are there more kinds of mounts, not only a horse?
There are some sequences in the game where you may find yourself riding on some strange creatures momentarily. There is a sequence on a winged creature where you fly through areas of the city. And so there are a few surprises in there, but Ruin's definitely the, once you get him, he stays with you and you can summon him at any time. He sort of becomes just another weapon in War's arsenal. So he's the main one we're focusing on.
Harry Trilos from Athens, he's got an interesting question. Basically, fans of Devil May Cry, fans of action games, like Ninja Gaiden, are those some of the same folks you imagine that'll find Darksiders a fun, entertaining game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we always try and like live up to what the great games before us have done in every aspect of the game, and so it's like, we wanted to get the horse feeling just right. We wanted the cinematic stuff to be really epic, and we wanted the combat to be supremely, kick-ass. Obviously, these are some of the best games in the genre, and if you can't compete with them, it's like, nobody wants to touch you. So we had to cover those bases, and I think we did a pretty good job, considering, combat's not even the focus of the game. There is quite a lot of adventuring, lots of puzzles, stuff like that, to sort of, give you a break. We really want to have pacing to it. I think it can grate on you if you're just mashing buttons for 3 hours straight. You need kind of like that break where you're thinking things through, looking at the map, checking out what you haven't explored yet, stuff like that.
You can try hosting a live show for 4 hours straight on 2.5 hours of sleep. Just watch the rebroadcast that we did on Tuesday. You'll see how bad it is.
I believe you.
So now they got the game back up, and we're seeing this is where we left off. This is
pretty much where we left off. And he's going to take out. But you know what? I think we're going to skip ahead and just show you Ruin. Why wait?
Yeah, totally. I'm super impatient, as I'm sure. Denise out of Romania asked a good question. Any online plans, whether just for DLC stuff later or anything else?
I will be completely shocked and amazed if we don't do any DLC stuff. It's definitely in the works. We're completely focused on the game with the release just right around the corner. Obviously if people demand it, it will happen. But as far as multiplayer, it's a single-player game. There's no multiplayer, no co-op, nothing like that.
No reason to need internet connection. All right, so this is Ruin.
This is Ruin, War is on Ruin, and these are the creatures I was talking about. If you happen to walk into this area, they would just take you out instantly. Now that War has Ruin, Ruin has a charge ability. Ruin has some abilities of his own. You can see a little charge meter charging up on the right-hand side of the screen, that little orange bar. Because the charge is so fast, you can't keep using it all the time. It acts almost like a turbo boost in a racing game. And that'll keep him ahead of the Ashworm just long enough to do some damage to it and hopefully avoid some of its attacks. Once you wipe it out, you can fully explore this area on foot. It becomes safe.
Now, you guys got a little bit of time before your release, obviously. How representative of the game is what we're checking out today?
We tried to show some of the more polished areas at E3. Obviously, there's still quite a lot of work to do. One thing I want to mention too is check out this move here. All the creatures have a really cool, epic fatality move. And the bigger the creature, the more devastating and gruesome it is. And we have a lot of fun. Even the small creatures just have, you may pick them up and crush their faces or whatever. We try and
I know why they call you Joe Mad.
Yes, people demand it, so.
That's cool. Let me go through some more of these questions here. Andrew Riga wants to know, will the game be, what else is the game coming out for? We're obviously seeing it on the Xbox 360 right now. You guys?
It's also coming out simultaneously on the PS3.
No plans for a PC?
Not right now.
Alrighty. What's the next area we're gonna be taking a look at?
Okay, so we're going back to one of the earlier areas in the game, and this is where War first returns after 100 years have passed. It's part of the devastated city area. And, this is also the first area where you meet Vulgrim, who's a soul merchant. And as you progress throughout the game, you'll be gathering lots of souls by killing enemies, destroying things in the environment. They're scattered around in chests, too. And when you bring them back to Vulgrim, you'll actually be able to buy weapon upgrades. He can upgrade your abilities. And it's a little disturbing that most of the guys that are helpful to you are demons. Usually the guys that you'd be killing in any other game end up being some of War's most important allies. But he'll deal with whoever he has to and kill whoever he has to carry out his mission of vengeance.
You touched on it there. I don't know if you want to go into more detail, but Amara Mosin at Akira was definitely asking about the weapon upgrade stuff. You want to talk specifics if you can?
Sure. So again, the sword levels up, and that'll level up throughout the game. In addition to that, after this, we can open up the inventory screen, and you can check out. Each weapon has a slot that you can put an enhancement into. If you go ahead into the other screens, you can see all the enhancement slots underneath. You can take an enhancement and add it to your weapon. It's never locked in. You can swap them out. One enhancement may give your sword fire properties. One may make your attack stronger. Whatever it is, you'll constantly be swapping them out based on your gameplay preference and the creatures and the area that you're in. And so just messing with that combination is kind of fun. And like I said, there's a secondary weapon you can always combo into, and that one has enhancements as well. So eventually, by the end of the game, you'll have so many combat options you won't know what to do. And in addition to that, we have gear items, which we haven't showed too much of right now, but you can actually map them onto your D-pad and go through them seamlessly in mid-combat. So you'll be comboing from your primary weapon, secondary weapon, and the gear item, which is mapped to the right trigger.
Now, it seems like there's an incredible amount of options. I'm looking at this monitor over here, and it's like,
yeah,
you can go all kinds of the town.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can just quickly open the merchant window. Just hit D and get all the souls.
Now, the little 103 count I see down the bottom there with the little soul-looking face, that's obviously helping you power up your weapons, or? use, is that the currency for your upgrades?
That's basically your currency, and this is Vulgrim here. He's giving War a horn. War has collected 400 souls for him, which is one of your first tasks when you return. And using this horn, he's going to be able to move a barrier that has been preventing War from getting access to the next area of the city. But before we go on to that area, we'll just open him up and see what he's got for sale.
He kind of looks like a regular dude.
Yeah, doesn't he? He's got a face you can really trust, you know?
He's got glowing eyes.
Yeah. So he's important because he's in each new area of the city, and in each area we add some stuff to his inventory, so you always want to be checking back and seeing what he's got available. He's got, you know, weapons, enhancements, upgrades, and you can see there's like quite a few. He just bought Blade Geyser, which erupts blades out of the ground. Let's blow the horn and get this guy to move here.
This is actually, oh, there you go.
Yeah, even a door in our game's kind of fancy. We had to, you know, take it way over the top. There are creatures in the game that are not necessarily War's enemies, and you know, when you encounter them, you'll find that you've got more allies than you thought initially. You know, you help them, they help you.
Works out.
You kill everyone. And you'll encounter these guys throughout the city as well. They've been enslaved by the Destroyer, and you know, they guard like really important areas of the game. And there's always some task that you'll have to complete in order to get them to help you.
And that's pretty much how it works. It seems like it's, you know, you just move around and you find, I mean, is it fairly linear that it's set, you know, the path that sets you on, you go from this guy to that guy, and then, or is it fairly, it seems like it could be more open than
Yeah,
that?
you know, there's always more than one place you can go, and that's important for us with the adventure aspect, because as you're doing this, you'll find items that even upgrade War's durability, like his life bars. You'll get multiple life bars, and it's important because sometimes you'll get to areas in a game, and especially action games that are like too hard. Oh, I can't pass this, you know, I got other games I can play. You'll get frustrated. But in adventure games usually, and in our game, you can actually, you know, if you get stuck or a creature's too tough, you know, go adventure somewhere else for a little while. Maybe you'll find some secrets, you'll amp up your life meter, and then you can go try it again, and you'll have, you know, way more durability, and maybe it'll be easier for you this time. This is the first boss in the game. This is one of the chosen, Tiamat, and War's here to tear her heart out. And he tells her as much when they first meet, so she doesn't give him a very warm reception. And you can tell we all grew up loving monster films and stuff like that. I mean,
you guys' art direction, design, and overall visuals and production value, I mean, it's really impressive.
Sweet, thank you. Yeah, you know, this is the thing about Vigil is like we only want to do games that we really love and that we're passionate about, and thankfully THQ has really supported us in that. I mean, they let us play to our strengths, and it's like, this is the game the studio wanted to make. You know, we created it from the ground up, and I think it shows. You know, I think, you know, anyone can make any game, but I think when a studio really does a game that they love, you know, you'll get better results.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree.
In this battle, this is the boss at the end of the first dungeon area, we call it. It's actually a huge cathedral. But in this area, you got a weapon called the crossblade. It's actually a gear item, and that gets mapped to your right trigger. So it's always with you, and you can combo from your sword into the crossblade as well. But one aspect of the crossblade, besides just throwing it and killing enemies at range, look out! Is that it can transfer elements. So here he's throwing some inert bombs onto her. The bomb by itself doesn't go off, but when you expose it to fire, they explode. So he's throwing some onto her, and then he's gonna transfer fire from these torches onto the bomb to knock her out of the sky. And it's not only used for transferring elements, you can tag up to 6 targets, enemies, things in the environment, whatever it is, and it'll hit them all in the sequence that you've set forth. Once she's on the ground, you can beat on her. Can't stay too close to her. She's got a couple of special attacks. One thing she also does that's really annoying is she has a healing ability. And occasionally you'll see, when you see the green spell going off, that's her starting to heal herself. And if you don't interrupt it with the crossblade at that point, she'll actually heal herself back up. Eventually she'll be at full power, and you don't want that to happen. So you might see her, you might see him throw the blade at her occasionally when she's doing that. Come on, dude, you almost got her.
Furious E out of Quebec, he wants to know any idea total length?
You know, that's something we're still trying to figure out. It's like as we refine the puzzles and really get them and we test them, we're surprised by how long some people take to complete them. So it's like, you know, if you're really good at puzzles, you may get through it in like 12 or 15 hours, I would say. If, you know, you really explore everything, it may take you about 20 hours. All right, she's going down. And like I said, every creature has a spectacular, gruesome death, and the bosses even more so than anyone else, because like I mentioned, War does have to get her heart. That's one of his missions. Her still beating heart, for the record.
So there goes the wings, right?
Wings are off.
Don't need those no more.
No. She'll beg for her life, like all villains eventually end up doing. Appealing to his... Oh, one thing I want to talk about. This is the Watcher here.
Yeah.
He's voiced by Mark Hamill, which we were very excited about because he did such an awesome job. And when War is sent back to Earth, he's not trusted whatsoever. They send a creature called the Watcher with him, and it's shackled to your gauntlet. You can't get rid of him. And he basically makes sure you stay on your mission and don't try anything shady while you're on Earth. And he has the power to kill you at any moment if you stray from your path. And he kind of abuses that power over you. He loves it. He throws it in your face. And so, you know, even though he's annoying, he does end up becoming a valuable guide, because when you aren't sure where you're supposed to go or whatever, you can always call on him, and he'll sort of shove you in the right direction. He'll do it in an annoying fashion that'll, you know, get under your skin, and you'll definitely want to kill him by the time the game's over. But it's like, you know, you'll get your help where you can get it. So
now, what are they afraid? He's gonna come back and destroy the world again?
You know, that'll be cool. It's like there are a lot of possibilities for the sequel, and we definitely hope that it resonates with gamers and people love the first one. We'd love the chance to do a sequel for Darksiders. We definitely see it as a you know, an IP with legs franchise, and you know, there's other characters we want to introduce. There's other creatures that we'd love to work out. So, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Now, yeah, I mean, definitely super interesting. Yeah, I mean, the idea that you guys have, and really that whole theme of the crazy, you know, mix of the underworld and all that stuff together with, you know, mythology. That's just super cool. Alexander E has a really good point. I thought so as well. You guys, it seems like some of your designs and stuff inspired maybe by some of the folks at Blizzard. I noticed some of the weapons and some of the other stuff. You guys fans of the Blizzard?
Oh, Blizzard? You know, there's a lot of dudes at the office that definitely play World of Warcraft,
oh, yeah.
Myself included. Diablo 2 is probably my favorite game of all time. So
that's a great game.
Obviously, we're fans of Blizzard, but you know, I think. You know, I've been doing comic books for a long time, even before I played Diablo, and you know, it's a style that I've been developing for quite a while, and I like to think of it as more of a coincidence and having similar influences. I know a lot of guys over there, we like the same artists, we like the same kind of movies, and you know, come on, as kids we all bought Fangoria and all that stuff,
yeah,
and we were into like monster designs, and so that stuff, you know, sticks with me. And honestly, in games, bigger is better. It's like, small weapons don't read as well on screen. You know, you really want everything to be large and substantial, and I'm sure that's something Blizzard strives for as well. So, you know, it's bound to happen, but I'll take that as a compliment. You know, I'll take it.
I was hoping you would, and that was like the best answer ever, by the way. Will Rudd out of Bay Village wants to know combo attacks. You guys do some combo attacks, some light combos, anything super intricate? If so, are you guys any multiple weapons in the combos or anything like that?
Absolutely. You know, there's combos within each weapon. But like I mentioned, you know, you have your primary, secondary weapon, and the gear slot, which that throwing blade was one of them. The gun is one of them, and you can, you know, launch the enemy in the air with the sword and keep him up there with the gun. You can throw the blade up and spin it and keep him in the air while you leap up and hit him with your sword and knock him back down. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of possibilities, and there are combos I can't even pull off. I mean, our combat designer, John Tran, is just insane. All he does is play fighting games all day long, and so he's really into combos, and there's quite a few intricate combos in there for advanced players. One thing we wanted to do is like make it really accessible for people that aren't maybe the most skilled. You know, they're just like button mashers and they just want to have fun. That's cool, you can totally get through it, but if you take the time to practice with the weapons and comboing between them, you're definitely going to find a lot of diversity.
It definitely looks like that. What was that whole sequence we were missing while we were talking, by the way? It was like two big, giant winged things scrapping.
Okay, so this is the first dungeon called the Cathedral. And when you first arrive there, the boss actually leaves her lair to come out and tackle you to the ground off that winged creature I mentioned earlier. And so here you have to find her where she is in this huge cathedral and take her out. So we're kind of rewinding a little bit from where we were before. And they're, you know, as you're moving through the cathedral, they're still fighting, so they'll just be, you know, you'll catch glimpses of them tumbling around in the environment and stuff.
All right, I'm gonna let you get out of here. You have answered all kinds of great questions.
Awesome.
And thank you. The game does look really terrific. Darksiders. It's coming out again for what?
Xbox 360 and the PS3 January 1st.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks
Super
for
appreciate it. Oh, no.
Yep.
Anytime. Really, bring it by. All right, we're going to be moving on now in our show, coming back to the stage live here momentarily. Right now, we're going to check in with the Sega booth and see what they got going on over there.